I want to thank the witnesses. From December of last year to September of this year, Azerbaijan blockaded the Lachin corridor, the only connection between Armenia proper and the ethnic enclave of Nagorno-Karabakh or Artsakh. Many of us here in Congress sent letter after letter after letter and supported resolution after resolution to exert pressure and relieve the humanitarian situation in Nagorno-Karabakh, which had been exacerbated since the 2020 war. It looks like we failed. During September 1920, Azerbaijan launched an offensive that led to the local Armenian authorities agreeing to a ceasefire. Within 10 days of that ceasefire, the ethnic Armenian population of the enclave went from 120,000 to 100,000, with locals leaving in fear or forcibly being expelled. Approximately 300 people died, 220 of them in a fuel depot explosion about which we don't yet know enough of the details. Dozens remain missing. I want the people who chant ceasefire now around the world not to forget Nagorno-Karabakh. That ceasefire ended in an ethnic cleansing, not a multi-ethnic harmony. American relations with Azerbaijan are inherently complicated. Azerbaijan shares our skepticism of Russia and Iran, and the country supports our ally Israel. We can't ignore the strategic opportunities and shared priorities with Azerbaijan. But we must also be firm advocates for our values and the principles of human rights. The tightening of the stranglehold around Nagorno-Karabakh over the years until the ethnic Armenian population was forced to leave was not just about counterterrorism, and it was not just about geopolitics. When we reflect on how this could have possibly happened, I want to share a story that took place in Hungary in 2004. Gurgen Magarian, a lieutenant in the Armenian army, was in Budapest, participating in a 3-month English course as part of NATO's Partnership for Peace program. He was sleeping in his room around 5 a.m. when Gurgen was hacked to death by an Azerbaijani lieutenant, Ramil Safarov, a fellow participant in the very same program. Gurgen received 16 blows to his face, and his head was nearly separated from his body. Safarov was convicted of murder and sentenced to life by a Hungarian court in 2006. Sadly, in 2012, 2 years into Viktor Orban's premiership, Safarov was extradited to Azerbaijan. The killer was greeted as a hero and pardoned by President Aliyev. The defense ministry promoted him to the rank of major and furnished him with an apartment and back pay. So this story leads me to ask you, Ambassador O'Brien, what should be our takeaway from what happened in 2004 through 2012? How should we think of the possibilities of peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan in this context?
I think, Representative, that's a reprehensible set of events. Peace is always made between adversaries, and to see any successful peace through to its conclusion, there needs to be accountability for crimes, but there also needs to be some measure of setting a new path going forward. And what lies before us now is whether that's possible in this case, and that lies with the parties. We are creating a path for them to take and incentives for them to go there. We have to do this in a way that is consistent with our rights. And if I may, just a tiny digression, Representative Costa, you mentioned Dr. Ibadoglu. We maintain sort of constant vigilance on this and insist on his fair treatment. We would like to see him released. We'll continue to urge that. And I think we'll do the same on any other human rights issue that comes across in our relationship with Azerbaijan. So we do that in a way that's consistent with our values. And what we are looking for now is a peace agreement that reflects the interests of the people of Armenia, and we believe those of Azerbaijan, in developing stronger relationships with the vibrant economies to their west, rather than with the autocracies to their north and south.